Gays against groomers.
Against, yes. 4 groomers? What, like show up at the Democrat convention or something? Jesus, man. So forgive me for looking down a lot. I got a TBI, so I can't memorize that well, and they just gave me the script last week. So I am Brian Schaff. I'm out of Colorado Springs. I'm the new chapter leader of Gays Against Groomers. We only created Colorado's chapter just 2 months ago. 2, maybe 3 at the most. So we're still brand new. We're just getting started. We've got a few members, some in LCR as well. We've got members all across the state jumping up now. And people are starting to reach out. So it's getting busy for me, but I'm glad to be here with you guys. And I've always wanted to come to an LCR meeting anyway. So about time I finally can. So Gays Against Groomers, we are an international movement of gay adults who oppose the recent trend of indoctrinating, sexualizing, medicalizing children under the guise of 2S LGBTQIA+. The notion that the gay community is a monolith is a lie. Members of our community have been waking up in droves to the corruption being done in our name, under the LGBT name, and the lies being spread under our community umbrella. Our movement skyrocketed so quickly in just the last year since Gays Against Groomers was created. Mostly it's done to our hardline approach. We expose the reality of what is happening to our community. We have members that are hardline Republican, Libertarian, Independent, and Socialist, and Democrat here in Colorado and across the country. We have members with a wide range of beliefs, some with no religious beliefs at all. This issue is not partisan. It is not philosophical. It's a human issue. It affects everyone equally, regardless of political or religious belief. GAG has assisted in passing over a dozen state laws so far, regulations, guidelines from the school level to the state level that bans transgender and queer ideology from being forced onto children. We focus only on the children. Across the nation, bills are being introduced and passed at the state level that ban child medicalization and sterilization, as well as mutilation, castration, and amputation of healthy body parts, all in the name of gender identity, which is an ideology being forced down their throats in schools. This is all being done before the child even has a developed frontal cortex that helps them determine our own identities and make rational decisions on their own. Gays Against Groomers has been involved in these bills. We testify at state legislators. We have helped write some of the bills that have already been passed, such as Missouri, Texas, and Tennessee. We submit legal motions, we engage with and host rallies and protests as needed. We provide education and awareness with provable facts, and more and more and more. People in the media, the White House, Congress, politicians, activists have called all these bills anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ. That's a bold-faced lie. The laws that are being passed in some states that are protecting gender transitions for children, as well as protecting gender identity in sex-based sports, are all toxic, discriminatory, and destructive for the first half of the LGBTQ name. They do absolutely nothing in supporting gay people. The laws and the movement behind them are anti-gay, they're anti-parent, they're anti-child, they are anti-female, they put people in danger, and they go against everything that our organization has done so far. Gays Against Groomers completely rejects any framework which enacts gay erasure, child mutilation, pressured speech, and seeks the complete and total body autonomy of transgender and non-binary people, most of which are minors. Now, activists from the HRC and the ACLU are on record saying, and I quote, "No child surgeries are happening in the United States." Yeah, it totally was, it totally is still happening. And we have proven it's happening all over the country with HRC and ACLU involved in pushing for legal protections for child surgeries. We're sick of the flat-out lies being put forward in the LGBT name by the transgender and queer activists. Everything we state is backed up by academic, legal, scientifically proven information. The gender cult's disdain for gays and lesbians sticking up for themselves show how anti-gay their belief system is at the root. The biggest LGBTQIA lobbying organizations and activists have villainized and slandered Gays Against Groomers. They make false claims that we are a far-right group of homophobic straight people. There ain't nothing straight about me. Tell you that. If any other gay movement was accomplishing as much as we have for the benefit of the community within just 1 year, they would not be accused of being awful bigots like we are. We are all extremely gay and proud. We proudly choose to side with common sense and reality. We do this in order to do what we feel is best for the gay community, a community whose well-being we value over those who try to get in our way. We're getting new applications every day, messages and public posts from members within the gay community, parents internationally, all thanking us for what we're doing, and they are publicly showing their full support. In the last 1 year and 3 weeks of GAG's existence, we now have over 600,000 supporters. Yeah, we're blowing up.
How do you measure that? Is that like monetary donations or like support on social?
Through donations, social media, public media, all of that. No matter how hard gender activists try to slander and demonize us on a regular basis, we have more gay adults siding with us on this issue in droves. Millions have publicly agreed with us. Our views are not fringe political issue. This is a moral issue affecting our entire community. So I hope this information has given you a little bit of data of what GAG is and how we operate. We have the same people in our organization that help fight to overturn Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the military. Myself personally, I was involved in that one with OutServe. We have people that were involved in fighting and getting rid of DOMA. And all those things never had a single thing to do with gender identity. It was all about the gays, supporting the gay, lesbian community. We challenge every single citizen to stand up for what they believe in. Fight loudly against what too many legislators and activist groups, especially here in Colorado, are fighting for, which is the sexual citizenship of children. We won't stand for it. So this is GAG. The chair recognizes 1776.
Do you have any information or anything to say about anything happening in Colorado specific? You kind of touched on it, but what is the mission Colorado specific?
So in Colorado, my vision of what we're going to be doing is fighting everything with provable facts. I don't want to go with emotions into any situation. We've got Broomfield schools. They're contacting me like crazy right now about books that are in the school library and the public library.
The school is contacting you or parents?
Parents for that. Excuse me. So I'm getting the information. I want specifics from them. I want pictures. I want facts. You know, and you can't come to me with an accusation against somebody unless you're going to prove it. And they're proving it really fast. So I'm going to get those books. I'm going to show exactly what's in it. I'm going to make sure everyone knows what's really in those books, hardcore.
Are you going to do that via social media, or is there any legal strategy?
Too far away for legal stuff yet on us on that. So right now it's mostly going to be social media, in-person talking. Part of us, since we don't have a Utah chapter, I've been taking over Utah operations now too. And one of the city councils there actually just asked me to speak to their city council. Because they don't believe about everything we're saying is happening. They just hear it on social media, and of course, all the left side is pushing out saying that's a lie, that's fake. So I'm going to go there and prove it. And that's how I see our mission right now. It could expand. The more people I get, the bigger our operation will grow.
You see much progress coming? Progress of people pushing back? Because I know a lot of states have enacted laws that prohibit.
Yeah, I know we're already over a dozen states now that have laws that ban medicating children, definitely no surgeries for children, none of that. And of course, we got states going the opposite direction. California and Washington State being two of the worst right now. I've seen a lot more pushback, and there was just that huge mini riot that broke out in Glendale in California, where parents went against the school because of the Pride event at their elementary school. We're seeing this more and more. It's popping up, and I've been seeing over the last week, I've been trying to stay off social media and take a week off for myself, but over this past week, I've been seeing a lot of stories from high schools of students standing up against what's going on in their schools. They're doing what the young man in Canada, I want to say Joshua, I can't remember his last name. He's been suspended from his school multiple times just because he said, boys, stay out of the girls' bathroom. And now students across America are starting to stand up too.
Yeah,
So it's growing.
That said there's only two genders in each other.
Yeah. Yeah. You have something, sir?
Boys in Massachusetts who protested the Pride event at their school, and they were walking around saying, "My pronouns are USA."
Yes.
And, yeah, they're all in big trouble.
Yeah, I love that too. Yes, sir.
I agree with everything you're saying, or what you're standing for. What I don't understand is, maybe this is a naive question on my part.
No such thing.
If the left is denying this, then why are they promoting it and then denying it at the same time? I don't understand what they're doing.
It is crazy. It's like the people, yeah, I get a lot of people that, they push threats on me like there's no tomorrow. It's getting insane now. But I've had, earlier today, there was somebody saying, this is not happening. So I showed absolute proof that it is happening. I showed insurance proof of over 400, I think it is, child surgeries in America already as minors that have already been done. And that's just one insurance company. And I started providing all this. So of course, their stance always changes. It's not happening. It is happening, but in very limited numbers. It's happening and it's good. It's happening and you better get behind it. I mean, that's the trajectory they always go in the conversation. Just follow any one of them. They'll run through all 4 stages within a few minutes. And then they'll go back to the beginning saying, it's not happening.
Doesn't seem to be any logic.
There's no logic to it other than the fact that they recognize it's wrong and it's too far for them to backtrack.
There is so much money. There is so much
It's
money
a ton of money.
involved in the pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
The doctors, these surgeries say like they're $70,000, I guess, in some cases. So there's a lot of people making a lot of money off.
Yeah, the average teenager that transitions over the cost of their life will be over $1 million per person. Yes, sir.
There is a strategy behind it. Just read Marx. It's Marx, the little socialist Marxist at the end.
Oh, the useful idiots.
Separate the parents from the children.
Well, it's the whole Bolshevik thing. Take guns away, take God away because you're supposed to be independent of the government of your existence. Political correctness, limited determination, the same thing to do, which is a part of all of this. Overly regulate government. So, and he said back then, and they understand this, give me your kids early on till like 3rd or 4th grade, and he said, I will guarantee you that they will be communists. So there's a rationale behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
What a lot of the conversation I hear with parents is they will start to affirm that their child comes home identifying a different gender. They want to be able to, they will affirm because they don't want their child to commit suicide. So a big motivator is for the parent to be there, show love, and they think of how should they show love by diving headfirst into the affirming of this gender ideology with the child.
Yeah.
Is there any conversation, or what conversations are you having with parents about that's not accurate? Your child's not going to commit suicide just because you question where they are in this conversation.
So the study that the TQ activists push all the time, showing trans your child or they're dead, was proven false. They had a lot of misleading information in the study. The questionnaires that the people filled out were also misleading the people answering the questions, especially about what gender are you actually and what do you identify as. It was the same question. They did not have a proper sample size. They didn't even have that. They lost a lot of patients in the middle of the study that said, this is BS, so I'm out of it. They counted them anyway. all the way through the study. There was just one thing after another, and it was Sweden that did a review of over 9,000 child transition studies worldwide. Zero used proper sample size studies, proper study methods, any of that. Zero of the 9,000 of them. And the suicide ones have been the one disproven more than any other, because they never differentiated, did they die because of severe depression, other mental illness issues going on, all of that. They just labeled it going, oh, they identify as trans, so that's the issue. It's kind of like with COVID. If I got hit by a car, I died of COVID. You know, no, it's not the same. And it's the same thing with that suicide study.
Are there studies that show the suicide rate increasing for trans adults or individuals who transition in the teen years into adulthood and commit suicide? Are they like...
There have been some studies, initial studies that have come out, showing that the children that did transition, that went through puberty blockers, all of that, by the time they went 18, the suicides actually went up. And that's the D-trans movement that we're seeing that's growing exponentially right now.
I read online somewhere that, and this is just a conjecture, but that a lot of these old trans people are bitter because they didn't get to take hormones when they were kids, and so now they don't pass. And so that's why they're helping to push this, because they think that they're doing something good by taking away a choice that they, from a child, they got to make as an adult.
Yeah, and the horrible side of that is it's already been proven that between 80 to 95% of the kids that identify as trans in their childhood and teen years, their gender dysphoria vanishes by the time they finish puberty. And they recognize, no, I really am who I am. I was all along.
How many of them are gay?
A lot. A lot identify as gay afterwards, or autistic, as the UK found after Tavistock was finally shut down, being that horrible organization it was, that was going after autistic kids and kids with parents that hated gay kids. They targeted those two groups specifically. But you know, between 80 and 95% of the kids coming out of gender dysphoria by the time they finish puberty, that's not a shocker, considering how many of us were confused as kids. Like 100% of us, because that is puberty. That's how life is. We just didn't have anything shoved down our throats.
My parents didn't take me seriously. Or else I'd have one eye, look at my hand, and a peg leg.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I like playing with my neighbors, her Barbie dolls.
Right.
I would bring my G.I. Joe over so they can get married and have a little life and everything. I'm not a girl. I just like dolls. Now I like Legos.
Just to kind of clarify for everyone, like, what is the law in Colorado?
And
Legally, as far as children transitioning, like, how early can they start?
I will have to look to see if the law even specifies. I do know there are people as young as 9 that are getting medication already, just to prevent them even having a chance for puberty. And that is actually deadly. It has been proven to be deadly, especially if they go through all the way to 18 and decide, okay, now I'm going to get the surgery. The Dutch study, I do not remember the young man's name. I can find this for you and shoot it to you. The Dutch study that's been used as the foundation of proving you can medicate kids. This kid, he got it at a very young age, went through all the way through, went to get his transition surgery, his bottom surgery. There was not enough penile growth because he didn't go through puberty. There was not enough skin anywhere because he didn't go through puberty. His immune system was not good enough because he didn't go through puberty. And he died because of the surgery. And we're seeing that happening more and more. Not to mention they got
using the colon to try
Yes.
to make a vagina.
Yeah, the colon had to be used because there was no penis to invert. It never grew. And people are having bone deformities, bone density issues are happening. Brain development is severely hindered. That all happens from puberty. We need it to live.
I was just going to say, in Colorado, it really doesn't matter if it's legal or not. If it's not illegal, or who performs it, because our governor recently signed a bill that said that if you commit gender reassignment surgery, you can't be sued for
Yeah.
presumably not even malpractice.
Senate Bill
Yeah.
23-188 is what that was. And no, you can't go after anybody who performs an abortion or does gender affirming care. And I believe it also absolves the state of prosecuting if you were to kidnap a child from another state and bring them here
Yes.
to do that. So,
Yeah, we're a sanctuary state for everything now. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll leave you this one thought. There's a video I saw just the other day from California. It was a mother testifying. Her, I think it was daughter, identified at a young age as a boy, but the mother refused to get her any of the medications, just got her mental health care, which was the right thing to do. And according to the DSM, that's exactly what we're supposed to do, provide mental health care and counseling. So the state charged her with child abuse, took the daughter away from her, gave the kid testosterone. A few years later, the girl's like, okay, I'm not a boy. I was just confused. I needed help. Her body's completely destroyed from the medications. So the kid threw herself in front of a train. And I just saw this video, I think it was yesterday or the day before. You want to talk about heartbreaking?
Is the mother gonna sue the state now?
Yeah. For what? For obeying the law.
The state of California passed
There's,
a law that-
yeah.
Oh, it was California.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they did drop the charges of child abuse against her, though, so compassionately. But yeah, that's that. I think my time is up. Unless you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very
Feel
much.
free to ask me afterwards. I'll talk to you after. Thank you.